It's a delight to be back here. We're going to make this YouTube live thing a thing, and going to mix it up a little bit. So on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock, we're still going to have our Universally Bedford live. That's going to be a catch up. All the stuff. Hello, off the rails. Great to see you here. We're going to have a lot of fun on those Thursday nights. We're going to play some games. Eventually, we're going to start getting some people involved as well as the thing. Pardon me, as the thing grows and becomes its own beast. But this is actually something a little bit different. Okay? This is going to be a little bit more of a relaxed kind of experience. And what we're going to do, brick by brick, piece by piece, we're going to put together Universal Studios in Bedford. And we're going to use a bit of software called Parkitect. Now, Parkitect, if you're not familiar with it, it's kind of the spiritual successor to Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 and 2. It's got a 3D engine, but the view, as you'll see, is very much that kind of isometric kind of three-quarter view that you typically get. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to build out the park. Off the Rails is building it in Planet Coaster at the moment. That's sick. Okay, all right. We're going to have to compare some notes here. The reason I chose Parkitect was because of that perspective, that isometric. That's the word. Isometric perspective. Because actually, if we have a quick look at the concept art is not a bird's eye view. It's set at that kind of that 45-degree angle that we can see. So what I've done to kick us off to get the ball rolling is I have done a little bit of homework, and I've created a blank canvas, if you will, for us to be using. Now, here are the rules. The rules are that I am only going to be building and contributing to this park on YouTube Live. That's the rule, okay? That's a self-imposed limit that I have set upon myself. So this is just going to be a little bit of fun. And over the course of all of these weeks, we're going to be able to build it out. Now, there is a bit of a fly in the ointment, because obviously right now, this is the only image that we really have to give us a clue as to what's coming. So what we're going to do when we get more information? Well, when we get more information, we're going to end up getting rid of some of those painstakingly created parts of the park that we lovingly put everything into, and we're going to replace them with what's actually going to be. Right? That sound fair enough? So that's the plan. I'm absolutely buzzing to have you with us on this journey. You're not going to want to miss it. Obviously, if you want to see the whole thing, you're going to have to subscribe. So please, you got to do that. I'm going to go over to Parkitect now so you guys can see what it's all about. Not that way. Yes, that way. That way. There we are. So here we are. This is Parkitect, and you can see we've got a park entrance here, and this little building here, this is where we get all of our deliveries and stuff. That will come in later. We'll have to deal with some admin during this, where we have to get the product and the merchandise to the shops and stuff. But mostly we're going to focus on the really exciting stuff, the build, right? Now, it's not just a plain bit of grass. Don't worry. Don't worry. Because what I've tried to do, and I think I've been moderately successful, is recreate the shape of that lagoon in the center of the park. And I tell you what, let's just flip back to the concept art again, just to have a look, see if I was successful. Okay, yeah. Now I've actually made all of this area, this illumination minions area, I've made that all water, and I think we're going to build on top of the water there. But largely, I think we're in a good place to start. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to start building out the paths, because ultimately that's going to set the scale and it's going to set us up for success, I think, right? I was in two minds. Okay, do I start with the globe? Do I start with the hotel? Do I start with what I really want to get to, which is Back to the Future, but we're going to have to do that in a future vid? Or Jurassic World? There's so many things that need to be done, but I think the paths are where we need to start. So we're going to be constantly referring back to this because, need to. In fact, I'm going to just bring it a little bit closer over, just so that I can, wait a sec, computer's just doing a little funny thing. There we are. Right, let's bring it closer. There we are. Sweet. All right. So now we're going to go in future episodes. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get the part of the park that we're focusing on the day. I'm going to get it up in a little window so we can see what we're doing next to what we're actually working on. So I think what we do is we start here. Can you see? I think we start right down here, just at the end of that opening boulevard. Yeah, and we can start building out some of the paths there. So if I just have a quick look as to where exactly we need to be. So that's there, that's there. It looks to me like we need to be just about here. Now, of course, this is an interactive experience. So if you think I'm doing something wrong, if you've got a top tip and you think, hang on, Lawrence, you're doing something real stupid here, please tell me, because I want this to be good. for the both of us. All right, I really do. So let's open our little paths menu, and we got some choices here. Now we immediately we are faced with a decision. We have concrete, gravel. I don't think so, or cobble. I think cobble could be the one. I think that would look nice. But we do also have stone blocks and brick. Let's have a look back here. That looks to me to be like stone or concrete. We do have a little bit of a mix here. So we've got some concrete here, and then we've got some what looks like brick here. So I'm going to say we'll leave that colour there for concrete, and I reckon we'll go cobble. Should we go cobble? That looks like it will be a good fit. So let's start. All right, and tell you what I'm going to do as well. I don't know. Can you let me know if you can hear those very satisfying noises of those tiles being dropped in? I'll make sure that you get all of that. So right, here we are. So right now we are building out this area here, and then we're going to get into this area. So you're going to notice like we've got some curves in this concept art, and we're working in squares. So there will be a little bit here where we're going to be a bit, it's going to be a bit of a kind of an artistic impression of the concept art. But then ultimately, what is concept art but an artistic impression anyway? What's this? Dirt? Definitely not. Okay, I think what we'll do is we'll stick in some stone blocks here. That goes all the way around. Yeah, okay. All right, so what we'll do, we'll max that one around there. Pop, 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 pop. Cool. And then it looks like we go to something a bit lighter. We might be going back to cobble there, to be honest. I don't know. You let me know what you think. I think we're going to have to go back to cobble. And this is going to have to be 3 wide, because what we want to be able to put some trees in the middle and trees down either side as well, right? So let's just jump back to cobble. And what we'll do is we'll go, whoa, wow, oh, that's honestly such a satisfying noise. And if we just, okay, so we cross that bit over there, and it looks like, oh, it's a little way before we have our first tree in the middle, isn't it? So let's, hang on a sec, I've done this, I said 3 wide, didn't I? And I've just done 5 wide. You see, this is going to be a real adventure for all of us, because you're gonna see the mistakes in real time. All right, so let's get rid of those, and what we'll do is let's just get rid of them a quicker way. Delete. Right. Okay. Right. So now that's a lot better, isn't it? Now what we're going to do is we're going to have it kind of like that, and then we're going to have them like this, I think, with some trees in the middle. Yep. And that's going to go all the way down here. Now we've got some shadows playing over the ground, but I'm pretty confident that we've still chosen. Oh look, it's raining. I did get to set the weather, the climate, as part of creating this scenario, and I selected British weather, so we might be dealing with rain for a little while, but what I might do, just to make it a little bit easier for you guys, is oh no, can I change the weather? Oh, maybe not. Looks like we're stuck with the rain, guys. Well, you know what, we're in Britain, we deal with it. Okay, so now I think I've got more than enough there. In fact, I might have gone over. So if I look here, yeah, we're going all the way down. Can you hear the thunder? Love that. All right. We've got the start of a nice boulevard here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now, when we get down to this bit, it does broaden out somewhat. So I think we are going to start widening this bit out here. And we'll see. Yeah, look at that. And then we get to build some arches, which is going to be a lot of fun. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. And what I might do, I might just pop out some of these ones because I think those could be nice spots for trees. Cool. All right. So what we have there is all the way down to the entrance arches. You can see, so I've got this upscaled version of the concept art here, and you can see sometimes it's really good, and then sometimes it's done that kind of funny AI thing where it's kind of just distorted stuff like this roof. But we will still be able to make good of this. We're going to build all these show buildings. Right, okay, I think we're going to build now. What we're going to do is we're going to build the first part of our gates. So I may yet find something that's a little bit better. But now if I go down here. Okay, now this one is kind of it's a placeholder, but it gives us just a little bit of a clue as to where we are and what's going on. Now obviously that's in a straight line. I do intend on somehow being able to replicate it like that. So maybe actually what we can do is we'll just kind of do a bit of a gradual curve like this. Yeah. That works. Oh. Do you know what? Andy's come up with a great suggestion. Get some tracing paper with a copy of the bird's eye view of the park and stick this on my monitor with Parkitect running to check the layout and adjust. Andy, I'm going to go to the craft shop tomorrow and get myself some tracing paper. That is a fantastic suggestion. I love that. I promise you I will have that all done by next week. Here we are. All right, this is beginning to shape up somewhat. Okay. Oh, did that in the wrong place, it's no big deal. Let's do that there. Okay. Aha, now we have the very cunningly disguised Toothsome Emporium here, which we'll have to do something about. So in fact what we might do is might just kind of create that little pocket for it. Yeah, I reckon 5's going to be wide enough. Yeah. Cool. And then a bit of path to go into it. Meanwhile, more paths. Now what we could do at this point is, I think we understand now, we are a nearby theme park closed, drawing more visitors to you. Well, that's handy. They're going to be quite disappointed guests at present. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just kind of get people over here to where I want them to be. Get up here. I'll bring that one down so it's double wide because I like symmetry. And it's still not symmetrical. It's still very off. I'm going to have to make that much wider. That's one for later. Okay, so having a look, we just going round and round here. We got all of these spaces for plants and such. But I think what we do have here Now let me just check, but I've got a feeling that we have. Now, where was it? Yeah. Look at that. Now, how big is it? It's nice and big, isn't it? Okay. Now let's have a think, because I think this goes on some sort of kind of water feature, right? So let's have a look. I want let's have a look at fountains. Yeah, round one. Let's have a look. How big's that? Not big enough. So this is great. This is a lovely little tool that they have in Parkitect where you can just rescale. So I'm just going to rescale that up to twice the size. And you can see it's now nice and big. So the middle is there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clear some room here for it. Now, what we are going to be able to do is, because I will sort it, is we'll be able to create them. We'll be able to put some paths so they go right underneath it. But I'm going to need to get a mod for that. Right, let's make this a little bit more golden, so it's a bit more. Yeah, all right. Yeah, okay, that'll do. That looks pretty good. Oh, see, this is where I need to get the sorted. So right now, okay, that'll do for now. How many? There we go. I mean, that's not bad. When we've got the path sorted all around it, I think that would look a lot better. All right, I think we've spent enough time down here. Let's start going up to where we want to be, which is up in the park, right? So let's go up here. Now what we've got is, this looks like we've got some kind of tarmac going on just round the corner. I've not spotted this, you know. So that's just really interesting, because I don't know about you, but I've looked at this, and I've looked at this in some detail. But this thing, I mean, what do you think that is? Yeah, let me know in the chat, because looks kind of intriguing. All right, now let's get our concrete out, because we're going to need to start building up around here. So 2 there, 2 there. All right, let's do that. Yeah, okay. Right. So we're just doing this little bit of concrete. Okay, so we're just going to go around the corner, and I'm like, to me that looks a little bit amity. That looks a bit like, could be some Jaws action going on. All of this looks a bit New Englandy. I mean, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Have a bit of amity here in Bedfordshire. That'd be wonderful. Right, so there we have this kind of this building with what looks to me to be, what are those, cobble, or is that dirt? That's kind of, I'm going to go dirt, you know. Bit of dirt there. I reckon one more, and then we've got this space here for the building. All right, so let's build this out here. Lovely. Okay, and we've got, oh yeah, we can do a lot of stuff with, you've got this is yeah, this is good. All right, now if we go a bit further, it looks like we're transitioning out of concrete again back into gravel. So sorry, into cobbles again. So let's get back onto our cobble. Here, cobble, cobble, cobble. What might I do? Let's pause it. And right, yes, and then it kind of goes. It gets a bit bigger around here, around Super Silly Funland. So I reckon that's enough space for that greenery. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's go like that. We've got this area. So all of this seems to be largely themed around Despicable Me. Of course, there are other kind of illumination properties as well. But look at these. I mean, like, look at the shapes of the roofs. That's very, very Despicable Me, isn't it? Hey, Mark, great channel. Discovered it today. Never been to a Universal Studios myself before. What's one thing you're looking forward to the most when it opens? Okay, I'm going to give you two things. I'm going to give you two things. The obvious one is the Back to the Future roller coaster, right? That's the one that if we scoot over on the concept art over here, we've got Hill Valley, and then we got this thing, right? That looks nuts. I'm super excited for that. But that's quite a popular choice. So I'm going to give you another one, a little bonus one. What I'm looking forward to, I'm looking forward to finding out what this green ride is. Okay. Because we talked a lot. Everyone's talking about the Back to the Future ride. Not very many people are talking about that. This green ride here. Now, to me, that looks like it could be like a flying coaster, because the way the track is twisting, and this just might be a quirk of an upscaled image, but the way that track is twisting seems to indicate that the train could sit above or below. So watch this space. I'm also intrigued to see what all this is. Okay, it's got a big show building here. We've got something here. Some people are saying Shrek. Some people are saying Wizarding World. Some people are saying Lord of the Rings. But nobody really knows. Yeah? Nobody knows. We won't know. We won't know for a little while yet. So we've just got to keep having fun and speculating. I would love to see Lord of the Rings. That'd be my personal choice. So if that's, yeah, those are my suggestions. You asked me for one, I gave you three. I'd love to know just in the chat what you're looking forward to the most, to be honest. Everyone that's here, give us your one thing. One thing. You're allowed one thing. Go on. Give us one thing. All right, I'm going to keep working my way down this way. So if we go here, we are, wow, we got a bit close there, didn't we? I think we're now ready to go along. So what we're going to do, we're going to keep a couple of bits aside here. So let's go. Yeah, right. Oh, hello. Now, what have we got? That's okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. So now we're going to go over here, build these bits out. I might have to do a bit of correction here, because I think there's a bit here where, again, Andy, need that tracing paper, because I think what I've done, I think I've somehow misaligned something here. This bit looks all right to me. This bit looks okay. But there's a bit here where this bit seems a little bit extended. Mark saying he loves theme parks, but he's never been to one on the scale of Universal Studios. Curious if there will be any Harry Potter stuff, considering the studio in Leavesden. I think it's an interesting one, that, mate, to be honest, because a lot of people are saying, no, it's never going to happen because of Leavesden. I have the opposite perspective. I think that it's more likely to happen or it makes more sense for it to happen because of Leavesden. Because Leavesden, if you don't know, right? So Leavesden is where the Harry Potter studio tour is presently. Okay, so that's the Warner Brothers studio tour. That's where they filmed all the movies. It's just near Watford, just down the M1, about 40 miles from the site. And they have a fantastic studio tour there. It's a very educational facility. It's got lots of information about how the movies are made. No rides, but real props, how they did this, how they filmed this, how they made this real, and all the rest of it. There's a fantastic model of Hogwarts Castle, which they used in the films as a model. So sometimes it looks like you're thinking, this has got to be CGI, but it's not. It's this enormous model, and when you're in the room, they have a kind of day-night cycle. So when it's nighttime, not only do the windows light up, but you can see people with lanterns, or you can see lanterns moving from window to window to window to window. It's crazy. Anyway, the reason I think it's more likely to happen is because people travel from all over the world to come to the studio tour. Now, if you're not into Harry Potter, you might think, well, that's a bit odd. That's a bit of a long way to go. But actually, people do it. And if you go to Watford and you stop at Watford Junction Station, you see these purple coaches, and they exist just to ferry people from the train station that goes into London and out to the studio tour. It's nuts. Okay, it's a big thing. Now, why would it make sense for them to build another Harry Potter attraction just up the road? Because people are traveling all the way around the world for a bit of Harry Potter. They're not going to go, I'm not going to do Leavesden, I'm going to do Universal. Or I'm not going to do Universal, I'll do Leavesden, or whoever whichever way. They're not going to do that. They're going to do both. Of course they're going to do both. If you're traveling all the way around the world, you're not going to pop over here for a couple of days. You're going to do the whole thing. So I think it could be mutually beneficial. But of course, as all things, it's all in the detail, and there's a lot of legal stuff, I'm sure, to work out between Universal and Warner Brothers in terms of rights. So watch this space. I'm fairly confident that we'll see the Wizarding World at this park at some point. Maybe not on opening day, but I believe we will see it in due course. So while we've been chit-chatting about the Wizarding World and so on and so forth, we've managed to go around what will be Illumination and the Minions area. So if we kind of go around here a little bit further, it looks like right here, actually, the path's going right up against the water. So I'm going to allow it to get a bit closer at this point. And do that. Yeah, this is an interesting thing. Again, this is something that I hadn't really kind of taken much note of. It looks like it should fit with this theme, where it has that green roller coaster, which seems to be feeding from Jurassic Park, Jurassic World into it. So it looks like that's kind of going to, that'll be interesting, that one. Can't wait to build it. Another great thing with Parkitect is you can ride the ride. So we are going to be able to do all of that as well. So don't worry, we're going to have a lot of fun. Once we've built these things, we are going to get to enjoy the fruits of our labour. Right, let's just tick up here. So here we have a little bit of a deviation. So we've got this bit here. So again, this looks like it's going to be kind of cobble. That would make sense if it's that kind of, well, what are we going to call that theme? Lord of the Rings, whatever. Lord of the Rings, Wizarding World. You name it, it's something like that. All right, let's build this bit out here. And do a bit here. Yes. And what we'll do is we'll just kind of do this bit here where it's kind of going to curve around and it's going to get into quite a narrow little path. And then it looks like it's going to turn into dirt and we'll get all the way back to that bit there. So here we are. Let's go a little bit further there. Yeah. Okay. Now, kind of go along here. All right. Now we look like we're going to be, yeah, about 2/3 of the way. Yep. So that's about right. Now we can transition that into a dirt path. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So it gets a bit narrower, then it transitions into a dirt path and it goes up. And then it widens in a spot there, maybe like that. And then it goes in here. So that bit there, we just go to it. That bit there, hopefully, is a reasonable representation of that. It's hard to get it exactly. But I think that works. Now we do have here something. We're going to have to do some terraforming at some point. But we're just going to stick the path in for now. So just on that corner down here, it looks like we have, yes, around here, we have a spur going off into whatever this is. Right. Now let's get ourselves over this way. So I'm going to say we stick with, maybe we stick with, maybe we mix it up a little bit because maybe we go with, because here it looks like we're moving definitely here into the Jurassic World area. Okay, so what we have is a path that comes down here and follows that all the way around to here. So we'll just follow the land. Yeah, look at that. That works. Okay. Nice. So we've hooked that bit up there. Now there we want to build a thicker path that kind of cuts the corner. So that's going to have to go like this. Oh, it's not really in the right spot. Oh, yeah, that works. Lovely. Let's do that. Just widening these up a little bit. Because that's the thing with these, you know, these paths. Back in Roller Coaster Tycoon days, I'll just do one path. Just do one path. And if, you know, people are walking all over each other, that's fine. But we're going for accuracy here. So we've got to try and get it as close as we can. Now, this looks like we're going up here as well. So let's do that. Okay, and then it's going to widen out even further. then we have our kind of our amphitheater. What do you think is going to be at the amphitheater? I mean, let me know in the chat. I've got several theories. They're probably all wrong, but I would be interested to know what you think. Some people have suggested Bond. Some people have suggested Waterworld. I'd love Waterworld. It's got a special place in my heart. But it could be one of many things. Let me know what you think in the chat, because I'd like to know. Right, let's build around this amphitheater, because we know the approximate shape of it, i.e. it's round. I reckon that's, yeah, it's kind of close enough, I think. Get rid of that. That. And then we have to go along and around this side. This side's a bit wider, isn't it? Okay, let's make sure that we're sticking to 2 tiles wide on this side. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that looks kind of fun. All right. And we do have this sort of what looks to be kind of a barrier to back of house. It's not a very exciting looking barrier here, but hey, it's our job to recreate, not to judge. So this bit goes around here. We have this waterfall element. That's going to be interesting to recreate. And then we have our path here, which comes up really close to this path, but it looks like it never quite meets it. So in fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring that just a tiny bit closer. Oh, forgot to select the bulldozer again. There we go. Right, lovely stuff. Okay, so we know, in fact, that might be the best way of knocking this one out. So let's do that. Make that nice and wide up that end. And then we know that this bit goes up and across. So let's have that coming up here. And then we've got this kind of weaving path, and we have a ride here. Everything's kind of a little bit obfuscated, so we'll have to do what we can and use our imagination, and we might have to come back to that one. I think we've got that path there in a pretty good place. Now let's go around here. We're going to leave some of this space here for what I think is Jurassic World Adventure from Beijing. If we go down here, you can see, there we are, lovely. Now they've got a couple of paths that are kind of crossing it. So one of the paths is here, and one of the paths kind of goes a little bit. Nice. I like the way this this wooden path looks. So if we kind of zoom in a little bit, look, that's quite nice, isn't it? That's gonna be great. Okay, great. Now this bit here we need to try and recreate. So let's make these paths wider. Ultimately, this is Jurassic World, so I think they're anticipating probably a fair number of guests to be in this particular part of the park. I think that works there. Now we're going to go over this way, And we have, this is kind of interesting. So it looks like we've got kind of like a playground, but also we've got these drop towers. So let's see where we go. If we go up here, so this is going up the side of the building. Like that. Yeah. And then just keep going. All right, fine. Now let's work our way down to the part of the park that has got everybody talking, which is Back to the Future. We also have a bridge here, so it looks like I might actually need to do a bit of terraforming right now because I didn't spot that. So we have this. So let's bring this bring this path down here now. What we'll do is when we get to here, I think we'll cross over the water. So we might just get to this point, and then we're going to switch to, I think Back to the Future is a kind of concrete vibe. So let's do that. Ultimately, Hill Valley it's a town from the 80s, so or 50s. And if you're talking about the third film, it's probably dirt. But we're basing this on the 80s. I think that's a safe assumption. So let's go down here. We have a very nice looking amphitheater just down here by the waterfront. And we have a lot of cement dropping down here. So David J. Lloyd, this is being made on a game called Parkitect, and I mentioned it's like the spiritual successor to Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 and 2, but it's using a 3D engine. So if we can kind of zoom in really close, and you can see that although it's stylized, there's a lot of detail there. It's paused at the moment, but the water moves and blah blah blah. And we will be able to ride the rides and walk around the park when we're done. The reason I chose to use this rather than kind of a Planet Coaster is partly because I love it. I'm a nostalgic guy. So for me, using something that harks back to Roller Coaster Tycoon, love that. But also because of the viewpoint, because you're looking at things isometrically, it's quite similar to the view that you get at using in the concept art, right? So that's where my brain's at. So I think that works. Okay, so this park here goes down here like that. Now I'm going to say, yeah, I think it's not that quite that far along actually. So we're going to start building out just the outline here of the paths around Hill Valley. So I think we'll go double width like we have done before. And we'll go, I think, to here. And now that's the path. But obviously we've got a lot of fun to come when it comes to the ride itself and all of the theming, which again, this is another reason why I picked this. It's got a really unbelievable mod community. So there is lots of stuff available if you want to if you want to find stuff that other people have created, scenery items, that kind of thing, fine. Also, if you want to create something, if you can 3D model something, you can import it very, very easily. So I wanted to be able to do that and also play a game that I love. Right. So here, I think, so this bit here, let me know what you think. Rumor has it this is Paddington. You let me know what you think. Is that Paddington? I am not entirely sure. I can see, some of these do look like marmalade jars. That's the those are the rumors. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just, I think, use cobbles for that, and we will go right. So we're quite close to the water, maybe one tile away from the water, and we'll go around here, and we'll thicken that bit up. And do that, and do that. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go round in a loop. There's a kind of a little bit of, so this bit goes down, there's a ride in the middle there. Some of this is hidden behind the building, so we're going to have to use our imagination and do the best we can. So let's have a look. Oh, hang on a sec. My looks like my cursor is having a bit of a moment, so apologies for that. Right. If we go along here. Yeah. See, there we have. Okay. All right. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to just jump here to link this bit up. That bit there, which we're not sure what that is. I'm going to give us a little bit of space here, actually, around the lake. And then we're going to kind of creep a little bit closer to it, just up here. And then we're going to join up with the other path. Okay, yeah. Actually, I've got a feeling we need a bit more of the cobbles here. Okay. Fantastic. All right, let's just see if we can whiz around this bit at Paddington. So we got here, it looks like it's coming around. There. We have a kind of a spot there for a ride of some description. Looks like some kind of spinning ride. My favorite. In fact, I'll give it a little bit more space. Yeah, okay. fact, yeah, let's just give it a tiny bit more. Because I don't know if you guys ever played Roller Coaster Tycoon. You'd always kind of plan it beautifully. And then you'd forget, I need to build an entrance to my ride. I need to build a queue and so on and so forth. And you never really get to it. Now we've hooked that bit up. Great, let's make that bit down there a bit wider. And that bit there a bit wider. Yeah. Okay. That's maybe a bit too much. Okay. All right. I think we need to have a little bit of a review, a stop, and check where we are at. So, where we are. People coming to the park. We need to sort this out at some point. Straighten that path out. And we will get a really good looking arch. This is kind of a placeholder just so that we've got a bit of context. We've got our boulevard here, which we can see here, okay, all the way up, that brings you to the lake. And then walking our way around, we have our New England, Amity, maybe Jaws area. Up here we have illumination and minions. We have our mystery theme right here, which will be maybe Lord of the Rings, maybe the Wizarding World, maybe Shrek. Who knows? We will see. And then here we have our amphitheater. And then round here we have our Jurassic World and potentially this, well, I'm assuming it's the Jurassic World roller coaster. Let me know in the chat or let me know in comments here. What do you think that green ride is? This green ride right here. Is that in the Jurassic World area? It looks like it is to me. It looks like you enter it down here and that it still looks kind of in keeping with that area. Would certainly fit with what we've seen in other parks around the world. But you let me know. We've got here the show building for Jurassic World Adventure. And then following it round over the bridge, we have Hill Valley and that potentially record-breaking roller coaster. Certainly going to be the largest that Universal have on in any of their parks around the world. And here we have Paddington. And in this gap, we have the hotel, which we will get to. So I think we've done quite a lot. We've set ourselves up with some firm foundations for ultimately what's going to be the most fun thing, which is about building some rides, sticking in some cool theming, maybe some shops, that kind of thing. But we're going to be building this out, and we're going to be building it out every single week until it's done. And you know what? It's going to take so long probably to get us to a point where it's beautiful and finished that we'll get new information in and we'll be able to go in and start amending, start fixing it, getting everything absolutely spot on. Anyway, I did say this was going to be a different vibe, a slightly more chilled out experience than our usual videos, which are, let's be honest, a little bit more high energy. But this is about chilling out. It's a Monday. It's been, it's the first day of the week. We've got a long way to go. So thanks so much for joining. I can't wait to see how this thing shapes up, and your input is going to be absolutely crucial to that. So make sure you are subscribed so that you can get involved along the way. Thanks so much. Have a fantastic week. I'll be seeing you on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, wherever you are. I will see you there in the comments. Thanks a lot for being here, and I will see you again very soon. Thursday, 7 p.m. University Bedford Live. We're going to have some games. We're going to have some fun. Last week was amazing. We are really turning it up this year. This week. See, I told you, it's a Monday. relax. All right, guys, have an amazing week, and I'll see you very soon.